Argentina this, Belgium that, England this, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter, because guess what? Brazil are winning this World Cup. Good evening, my peoples, and welcome back to the Counterattack. We are here for part 2 of the World Cup in Qatar's group stage review, and as you can see, it's part 2, so I've changed my hoodie for you. So here in part 2, we're going to lead off with Group E, Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan, the Blue Samurai. What an interesting group. One of the tougher World Cup groups, I feel, with Costa Rica probably playing the whipping boys. They could barely qualify from CONCACAF, had to go into the inter-regional qualification playoff, and they barely made it through there. Los Ticos, they are much, much older than they were when they had their dream run in Brazil in 2014, and honestly, I don't see them doing too much in this group. Spain and Germany, they'll be expected to go through here. I think the Germans have had enough embarrassment, and the Spanish are always seen as favorites to go through. They, I think, consider themselves smaller dark horses at this World Cup, but Japan will be a very, very tough group match for any of these teams. Japan are much better than 4 years ago when they barely lost out to Belgium in that round of 16. Some really exciting players, not only Arsenal's Takahiro Tomiyasu, but Kamada out of Frankfurt, Matoma at Brighton, some really excellent players for the Blue Samurai. And because Costa Rica are going to finish in last place, I think Japan could replace one of Spain or Germany, but I do expect both European teams to go through. Group F is shaping up to be one of my favorite groups, and really it should be divided between aging golden generations that haven't won anything and youngish, up-and-coming teams with a big future ahead of them. And I think we can all tell who is who. Belgium and Croatia are the aging golden generations, and both of them, we'll expect to be here. Croatia finished runners-up 4 years ago, and Belgium, while their golden generation is really getting up there, and this is pretty much their last chance, they can expect, or would expect, conventional thinking has it, that these two teams would go through the group, wouldn't they? I don't know, though. I have a sneaky suspicion that there will be a surprise in Group F. Outside of those two European teams, we have Canada and Morocco rounding out the group, and Canada breezed through qualifying. They qualified how a big CONCACAF nation is supposed to qualify, with confidence and not the panic that the Americans and the Mexicans had. Did not like that at all. But Canada back in the World Cup for the first time since 1986. I love when a nation who hasn't been there in a while comes through. They have a ton of young, exciting stars doing the absolute business in Europe. Alphonso Davies, excellent. Jonathan David, excellent. Just Tajon Buchanan, excellent for Club Brugge. Really looking forward to watching this Canadian team in Qatar. Rounding out Group F, we have Morocco. And Morocco, they're an interesting side because they've been sort of up and down. They flew through African qualifying, but then sacked their manager in August of this year, right before the World Cup. Very, very strange. People were saying in the country and the players and people following the Moroccan national team were saying that he played too dull of a style. And honestly, watching them a little bit, especially during African qualifying and during the African Cup of Nations, I have to agree. Morocco, considering the stars that they have in Ziyech and Hakimi, they were boring to watch. Truly boring. But being boring is not necessarily a bad thing in knockout tournaments. We all know what happened in 2004 with Greece. Well, my people, here we are. We have finally arrived. We're finally here. We are here at the Group of Death. For those of you that don't know, the Group of Death is what looks like on paper to be the toughest 4 teams at the World Cup drawn together. And here we are. And again, it includes Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. African champions Cameroon. That is, what a collection of teams. Absolute Group of Death. Brazil will be favorites to win the group and frankly the whole thing. They should beat Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. I believe they beat Serbia and Cameroon in the 2014 World Cup when they were drawn together. So many same teams who have been in the same groups fairly recently, have been drawn together in this World Cup. Serbia, though, moving on to the other teams, because we all know what's up with Brazil. So Serbia, they are better placed now to not only to make it out of this group, but to make a fairly deep run at this World Cup than ever before. They topped their qualifying group, and they have Vlahovic and Mitrovic. Vlahovic, we all know about him. He's tearing it up with Juventus. Had a bit of a wobbly form early on in the season, but he's kicked on now. But Mitrovic, he is a problem up front. And these two type of forwards are exactly the type of forwards that you want in a knockout tournament. Big, burly guys, they can throw themselves around, really cause a problem without the rest of the team creating too many chances. Serbia is one to look out for. As if my pre-tournament favorites, Brazil and the dangerous Serbs, wasn't enough. Switzerland, oh boy, they knocked out my sweet French at the Euros, and here they are again, and in terrific form, absolutely efficiently terrific form for the Swiss. They topped their qualifying group on top of Italy. They sent the Italians to the playoff where they just couldn't make it out, my people. So sorry. But their defensive solidity built around Akanji and Fabian Schär, who I believe plays for Newcastle now. That's the thing that's going to lead to their success. They have to keep the opposition at bay for as long as possible and look for Granit Xhaka to spread the ball around from that midfield. That's how the Swiss are going to get out of this group. Rounding out the group, we have Cameroon, the African champions, my people. Not only the African champions, but made it through one of the most difficult routes to qualifying, which is coming out of Africa. The most difficult. Absolutely. Normally there's a whipping boy in these groups, but in this group of death, I really don't see one. Cameroon are African champions and have weapons all over the pitch. Not only Abubakar up top, but a player to watch, Karl Toko Ekambi. He, in midfield, as a deep-lying midfield player, I love him. I love to watch him for Lyon. I love to watch him for Cameroon. He's going to be a problem at this World Cup. My people, if this was 12 years ago, Group H would probably have been the group of death. But now it's sort of, tier A and B nations that really are kind of a little bit lost out there. Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and the Korean Republic. My people, Portugal remain heavy favorites to win this group, but with everything that's going on with dearest Cristiano Ronaldo, with his interview talking about his Manchester United teammates, there was a lot of distraction around this team. We will see how it turns out. We know it doesn't turn out really well for the French, and I don't think it's going to turn out very well for the Portuguese either. But the story of the group, my people, the Black Stars from Ghana are back after 4 years of not making it to the World Cup. Form has been up and down, but Ghana have excellent players in all phases of play. I think we all know their player to watch. Thomas Partey. He is a problem. Passing in between the lines. La Pausa. Unlocking defenses in the midfield. In that middle third of the pitch, there's no one better than him. And Ghana are going to be a problem. They have some aging stars, yes, and some younger ones coming in now. A lot of naturalized Ghanaian players are in this team. I think Nico Williams is one of them. He used to be, I think, an underage Spanish international. But he's with the Black Stars. Tariq Lamptey, who plays at Brighton, also with the Black Stars. They have threats all over the pitch, and they're more than capable of taking points off of any of these teams. Rounding out Group H are South Korea and the bane of my existence, Uruguay. They know exactly what they did, especially Luis Suarez. Uruguay, though, they finally have a new manager after what has seemed like decades with the same person in there, but the refresh has not gone completely smoothly, my people. New players have been brought in, and Uruguay, they're kind of always dark horses, which is really interesting to me for a country of their size. For them to have 2 World Cup titles and always sort of be in and around it, always competitive, is really impressive for them. They have some excellent new young players. Darwin Núñez at Liverpool, he is definitely one to watch. Last but not least, rounding out the group, South Korea. They are at their 10th consecutive World Cup. Big achievement for them. Really great to see an Asian side consistently making it to the World Cup, but they've only made it out of the group twice, which is a problem. It's a problem for them because I think the Koreans see themselves on par with the Japanese or anyone who can call themselves a top team out of Asia, Saudi Arabia, whoever. They definitely see themselves as the top team, and I think they're good enough to make it out of this group, and I think they'll be disappointed if they don't make it at least to the round of 16. But everything is going to hinge on Heung-min Son's availability. He has a bit of he had surgery to correct a broken bone in his cheek, I think. So I don't know how much he's going to be available, when he will play, but he is crucial to South Korea's chances. Well, my people, I have nailed my colors to the flagpole. It is going to be the Brazilians that are going to win this World Cup. I put it out there. I can't take it back now. Please slap that like button, subscribe, and take care.